Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another superb episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Four continents down, two more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. See, we have a special event going on today, and it's actually brought to us by the great folks over at WWE, more specifically WWE NXT. And we're talking about Vengeance Day. It's back this year, and it's emanating from Orlando, Florida. That's right. It's emanating from the WWE Performance Center, and it's happening today. And we have five great matches to actually look forward to. That's right, five great matches. And it's going to be a vibe. It's definitely going to be a vibe. All five of these matches have been well done. They've been built up, and I'm all here for it. So with that being said, shout out to the great folks over at Orlando too. I hope y'all enjoy this show. I hope y'all get there to and from safely, and I just hope it's a great night overall. All right. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through the whole card match by match, and for those of you listening and watching, well, those of you watching, I'm sure if you're listening, you won't have time to just to put in your comments. But for those of you, but if you do, fine. But if for those of you that are watching, feel free to chime in with your own predictions as well. And if I see them on, I'll actually go ahead and highlight them. If you're watching via Instagram, unfortunately, I can't highlight them because for some reason Instagram doesn't let us highlight comments. But I will definitely shout you out and your comment as well too. Okay, so with that being said, we have NXT Vengeance Day. Man, a lot of great matches. So the first match we have is a singles match, and it's going to be Tony D'Angelo versus, I guess you could say, the leader of Dark State, Dion Lennox. Now, Dark State, they've been running hot since they first started. They won the tag team championships. Anybody who crosses them, they're pretty much getting beat down. And I was really hoping that those tag team titles would have been the start of them dominating the whole brand, because I've always said, if you really want a great stable, you give them all the titles of that brand. That's why the Four Horsemen have been successful. That's why Evolution was successful. That's why Undisputed Era was successful. And more recently, Toxic Attraction was successful because they had all the belts in NXT or their respective brands. But it could still happen. This might be a slight bump in the road, but right now it seems like Tony D'Angelo's on a warpath for vengeance. And this is gonna be a pretty good match. But in all honesty, I think Tony D'Angelo's gonna take this win. He's definitely gonna take this win. And to be honest, I don't think this is going to be something. I'm going to be brave and say this match is going to be the highlight. This match is going to be the show stealer. I have a gut feeling that this match is going to be between these two is going to be a show stealer. So I'm going to go with Tony D'Angelo winning, but this is not going to be the end of it because it's 4 against 1, and you can only do so much as one person. He's going to need some backup. So Tony's he's gonna win the battle, but he's not gonna win the war, as they say. So the next match we have is a street fight, man. And these two have been going at it, and they're finally gonna have a match, no holds barred. They're gonna be fighting all over the arena. And so we have Jada Parker, aka Miss Parker, versus the pretty but deadly, and this is no offense to Elton Prince and Kit Wilson, because I know they're called pretty deadly, but This woman is pretty but deadly. And I've seen her in action before. If you watch AEW, you know that she's capable of getting dirty. Don't let her looks fool you. I'm talking about Blake Monroe. Those two are going to go at it in a street fight. I'm going to be brave and say, one of the things you got to watch out for is a woman that is not afraid to bleed in wrestling. And we've seen that from Blake Monroe. She has bled, not a little, her lip got busted, or she has a knot on her forehead. Like, no, homegirl has had a full-on blood mask on her face. And this was when she fought Toni Storm, who's another woman who's not afraid to bleed. But we're not talking about AEW. This is NXT. But I'm gonna have to give this one to Blake Monroe. Although you don't want to mess with people from Florida. Floridians are like honey badgers. I call them badgers. Chris Cartwright's probably gonna kick my ass for this, but I told him to. I'm like, people from Florida are badgers. They're like honey badgers. If you know how a badger's mentality is, they don't give a damn. I've seen badgers take on full-grown lions. Try to take on full-grown lions. They don't care if you kill them. If you kill them, you kill them. But they're not going down without a fight. So Floridians are like that. But like I said, this is not Blake Monroe's first rodeo. So I'm gonna have to give it to Blake Monroe. I think she's gonna get that win. All right, so the next match we have, this one is gonna be crazy. Woo! I hope so. Okay, so we have an NXT Underground match. It's gonna be Lola Vice, who is an experienced mixed MMA fighter who actually has a professional record, going up against Kalani Jordan, who's a gymnast. Now, Kalani's been feeling herself because she recently made Lola Vice tap out, via her previously injured hand that Kalani actually damaged. So now she's feeling herself. She made an MMA star tap out. And that's kind of I could see why Lola Vice is hot, because she's been in so many MMA matches and to have somebody who has no experience in MMA actually tap her out, that's crazy. That kind of messes with your head. And now Kalani, she went to Shayna Baszler to get some lessons in MMA. I hope Kalani knows what she's getting into. I hope she knows what she's getting into. I'm gonna go with Lola Vice to win this, because this is an underground match. This is not no regular match. If for those of you that have seen underground matches, you know what it is and what's up. Skilled fighters, MMA fighters, they thrive in this. So all that, yes, Kalani had that little segment where she said, gymnastics would work. Kalani, I'm telling you, you don't want to go there. I'm gonna go with Lola Vice to get this win. If Kalani wins, it will be a miracle, a huge miracle. So the next match we have is a singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship, and it's gonna be. Let me get the card back up here. It's gonna be. Where to go? Sorry, man. Technical difficulties. Vicky Bear. So you said Tony is winning. You think Tony's winning Dark State interference? Do you mean Dion? Because if Dark State interferes, unless you mean they're going to interfere and cause a DQ. We'll see. Yeah, I think Tony's going to win, though. So the next match we have is a singles match with NXT Women's North American Championship. It's going to be Izzy Dame, the defending champion, versus Tatum Paxley. These two have been at it for the last couple of months. Izzy Dame did that brutal betrayal and cost Tatum Paxley her championship, and Tatum is hot. But now Izzy Dame has a championship, and Tatum Paxley wants it. she is not playing. She wants her get back, and she wants her get back ASAP, no Rocky. Now, these two have actually fought before. Tatum Paxi got the win via some nefarious means. Not Tatum Paxi, Izzy Dame got the win via some, underhanded tactics, but still a win in pro wrestling. But in all honesty, I think Izzy Dame's going to come up off that title. I think Izzy Dame is going to come up off that title, and it's going to be all Tatum Paxi. So that's what I'm going with. But in all honesty, if Tatum Paxi would lose, I wouldn't mind. What I really would like for Tatum Paxi to do is to go ahead and go up to the main roster, and reteam with Lyra Valkyria. Even though Lyra's teamed with not Becky Lynch, Bailey right now, I'd like to see that tag team again. I think they'd be a cool tag team. It'd be interesting to see them win the tag team titles. They have that kind of dark dynamic, going on with them. So, but I'm gonna go with Tatum Paxi winning. I think Izzy Dame's gonna come up off that title. Okay, so Vicky, you said Miss Parker is winning because you feel Blake might be too scared of Jada as of recently. You think Lola is winning because Kalani might be too scared because this is new to her. So Kalani, with that segment, if you saw the segment with Shayna Baszler, I don't know if you did. It seemed like she might be a bit over her head. She might not understand this new environment of what this new environment of MMA is about. So I think Kalani has no clue what's going on. But that's just my opinion. Scared of Jada. I don't know, man. Like I said, if I don't know if you saw her matches against Toni Storm, I don't think Blake is scared. The scary thing is she's not afraid to bleed in a match. So Jada's never bled in a match. Once you have a woman like that, it's kind of difficult it's kind of difficult. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. All right, so yeah, I think so. I'm going with Tatum Paxi for that match. She's Izzy Dame is gonna definitely come up off that title. She's gonna lose that title. All right, so the last match we have, the main event, is gonna be a singles match for the NXT Championship. It's gonna be the defending champion, Joe Hendry, the one we all believe in. If you believe in Joe Hendry, clap your hands. Oops, sorry, my alarm just went off. Defending against Ricky Saints, the pride of Louisiana. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. If there's anything I would always tell y'all is never underestimate somebody. Now I'm gonna deviate from what I'm gonna say from giving my predictions. I saw this man live at a show 11 years ago in Austin, Texas. And I remember when I saw this guy, I was like, this guy's hella talented. It seems like this guy's gonna go places. I saw that guy, more specifically, the promotion was called Anarchy Championship Wrestling. For those of you that live in Austin, Texas, you know what I'm talking about. But I saw him there. And imagine, lo and behold, from that time when I saw him, and he was actually in a match. I think was it Masada or somebody fought. He won the match, and he gave a great promo. And I was like, this guy, I got to feel this guy's gonna go far. It was a unification match, and I would never forget that match. And now, lo and behold, 11 years later, this man is in WWE. 11 years later. It just goes to show that you never know who's going to become who. So if I could I know for those of you that follow us, you know that we also interview pretty much anybody. So if I could give anybody some advice, any podcast some advice, you see, when you see men like this, you never doubt them. If you see a professional wrestler at your local promotion and they're down to do interview, or they you know decide to DM you and say, "Hey, I'd like to be on your show," interview that person, because you never know where that person's going to end up. That person could end up being the next big thing in WWE, like Ricky Starks. Fighting for the main title on a brand, the big title on a brand. So that's all I got to say about that. I might do an episode on that, or a Instagram reel or a Twitter video clip on that. But yeah, it's great to see that his hard work has paid off for him, and look where he's at now. Very great. So with this match, oh man, it's kind of hard to call. I'm going to be brave and say that Joe Hendry's going to retain. I think he just got the belt. I think he's going to keep it a bit more. I don't see him losing it right away. Although if he does lose it for some reason, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to the main roster, because the man is hella over, man. The man is hella over, so it wouldn't hurt him if he lost the title and, he end up leaving NXT right after. I'm going to go with Joe Hendry winning, though. I don't think Ricky's going to get it yet. He's had the title belt already, but I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's gonna get it right now. But I will say Ricky Starks is definitely hella over. He's a cool guy. I've met him once before. He said somehow he remembers me. Like I don't think I've ever talked to him on here, but great guy, very cool guy, and like I said, I'm very glad for him getting this opportunity. I hope he gets there as many more where that comes from. And plus he's from New Orleans, so it's gonna be a vibe, man. So yeah. I'm gonna go with Joe Hendry winning. So that being said, sorry. So with that being said, those are my predictions for NXT Vengeance Day. I don't have no general predictions. But if y'all have any predictions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. It's a nice day outside today, and my stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for brunch and to see what's going on outside. But before I partake in those activities, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places, you can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. You can find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. Blue Sky is the same thing, remyblue.bsky.social, and I think that's it for my socials. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky at Ringside Society, all across the board. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify, and we're also on Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have coffee mugs, we have long sleeve shirts. Yeah, we got some good stuff. As a matter of fact, our St. Patrick's Day merch is dropping either by tonight or tomorrow. We're gonna have it up, so stay tuned for that. If you love St. Patrick's and love us, we got you. And all proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see great episodes like this one, like our predictions for Royal Rumble, our predictions for several TNA events. All those episodes you can see on YouTube. And to see them, it's really simple. It's not even pre-algebra. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. Once you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin-yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing, like Aerosmith in 1998. With that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on and get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And to those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we just go away, well, like myself and Gordon Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware. We see it. You know, everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. And that's okay. But guess what? We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So with that being said, I'm going to say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for WWE NXT Vengeance Day with a Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back next week with another impressive guest, another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.